Hey Scorpio, I'm Empress Rose. Welcome to your reading. These are general readings. We're going to take what works, leave what doesn't, as with everything in life. And if I don't catch your wavelength or storyline here, go check your other major placements. I'm starting with the Oracle decks of Moonology and Work Your Light, and then we'll do a more traditional tarot spread. If you haven't already, please do click that subscribe button. It helps other people. What am I doing? It helps other people find my channel, and it also makes me very happy. Okay, we've already had one card go flying across the room, and then I don't know what happened to it, but it somehow ended up over here. So, okay. All right, Scorpio, what do we have here? Oh, I have not seen this one in a while. Oh my God. Oh my God. I'm an honorary Scorpio right now. Holy shit. Okay. Whew. Man, oh man. Do I love this. Okay. Transformation. Things are changing at a cellular level, deep healing. You're not the person you were a year ago. Who is? Oh, I'm out of focus. Okay. You're not the person, I'm not the person, and you aren't the person you were a year ago. Things changing at a cellular level, deep healing, healing old patterns, and you've been deeply loved as you go through this healing. In conjunction with that, I have three cards that kind of go all together here. Align your life. So you have changed, and so often when we change internally, our next question is, how come the outside of my life doesn't look like what I know to be true now on the inside of me? And there's like this ripple effect, this adjustment. Your life has to adjust to you. So there's something here that that you need to adjust, or needs to adjust to you and to the ways that you've changed. Maybe this isn't the job for you anymore, or maybe this isn't the way you want to schedule your life anymore. Maybe what was a priority last year isn't a priority anymore because you've changed. So now something else needs to come into alignment. That's the scary thing about change, is we can change and we can grow, which is exciting and great and exactly what we're here for. But then these other facts about our lives have to change and have to grow and have to move. And that can be a little bit scary and a little bit weird. Adjustments are required. So these three coming together, you've changed. Something needs to be aligned, and adjustments are required. So we have two cards about basically needing to adjust to these changes. Something in your life needs to adjust. Maybe your relationships need some tweaking or adjusting to the way in which you've changed, in which you've grown. Maybe you now expect to be treated with a little more respect, and you have some relationships where that's not actually happening. So you're going to have to make some adjustments and make some changes there. Or, that's just an example. Could be your work, could be something more mild about just how you organize your day, something like that. There's something needs to be adjusted so that it conforms and makes sense with the ways in which you've changed. Have faith in your dreams. So there's something that you want here. There's some place that you're going. Maybe you're changing into this other person or into a different type of, life, or this could be a separate kind of thing. But you've got some dreams, you've got some ideas here. Have faith in those dreams. You are changing, you are growing, and you are going to be able to make these adjustments. You can do this. And not only that, you are very close to achieving your goal. This to me always looks like the bars sliding away, this opening coming in here, and this moon here is almost full. There's just a little bit more. So it seems to me like align your life. What is not aligned or needs to change, it's just a little tweak is what it looks like here. Just a little tweak, not that much. You're very close to achieving your goal. It's not that far away. It's not impossible. That's why you need to have faith in your dreams, because what's coming towards you, it's not impossible. You're actually closer than you think. I think your life is aligning to these ways in which you've changed. And then, new moon in Aries. A couple of people got this last week. It's a very action-oriented time. It's time to take action. So whenever I see the time here in this Moonology deck, it always grabs my attention that time is of the essence. You need to do this right now. This action. So there's something you need to do to realign, realign and adjust to what you are now, who you are now. There's something you need to do. It's time to do that thing. Do not wait. Do not delay. Have faith. Have faith that it's going to turn out, and you're very close. It's just a sliver. It's just a little sliver that you need to do. There are a little thing that you need to do to adjust. Or it could be, I think you've done most of the adjusting. Most of the change is if it's been a big change, it's almost done. It's almost over. If it's been a little change, if it's a little change, then there's not much to do here. It's just a small little thing. It might feel kind of big to you because especially if you're changing, it would be probably out of your comfort zone, something a little more difficult, something you hadn't done before. It might feel a little big, but to the objective eye, it could just be a small little thing. So it's an adjustment. It's not a major... The transformation has already occurred. I think the adjustment and the realignment seems to be a bit of a little tweak here. And have faith. It's going to have a big effect, I think. So it's time to take action and have faith. All right, Scorpio, what do we have for you? This is your past, your present, your inner landscape. What's at issue, your environment, your to-do list, and your possible outcome. All right. In your recent past, you've dealt with this Five of Pentacles energy. This is feeling isolated, feeling alone, feeling abandoned, like you don't have what you need, feeling trapped in a situation in which you didn't have what you needed. And it's Pentacles, so it could have been time, it could have been money, it could have been any kind of resource. Just not feeling like you had access to what you needed, feeling left out, left out, abandoned. A winter time. I mean, and the Five of Pentacles usually does take place in winter. I mean, as far as like the depiction of it, and it's a time of not enough of. It could be a time of rest, but what it feels like is a time of, you might have been laid off, you might have been not had the resources you need in some way, financial resources, time resources, something like that. And so it's a winter time, but the Five of Pentacles always has this hint of it's just a time. It's just for this time. It's not forever. There was a time where maybe you felt very alone. You felt like you didn't have help, or you didn't have the money you needed. A time of poverty, some kind of impoverished situation. It is a period of time that you move through, like the Earth on its orbit moving around. So there was this winter part of the orbit, and then the axial tilt, of course, makes that winter. So there's this winter time for you in your recent past, as far as abundance took a little break. In your current situation, you have Page of Cups. You have this new emotional connection that you're interested in learning about, or somebody is. You could have a person in your life right now, or this could be you, but it doesn't matter because you're connecting with each other. You're exploring surprising things. This is like, I almost feel a sense of like holding space for somebody or something, as far as like they might be sharing with you, or you might be sharing with somebody something that might be a little surprising, a little risky. And the other person is able to handle it, is able to just hold that and be, very, very, good listening, calm listening, understanding, seeking to understand, not grilling, but listening so that they can understand, listening to understand, not listening to respond, not listening to figure out or solve, but listening just to understand, just to hear, just to relate. So there's this Page of Cups energy currently going on of a new beginning, and just at the understanding and listening phase of something. And the page is the learner. So you might be learning about someone else's feelings, somebody else's emotions, or just about how to deal with these feelings and these emotions yourself. In your hopes and fears, we have Ace of Pentacles. So we have you're hoping to start a new job or something, especially if you've come from this Five of Pentacles, this poverty, situation of not having what you needed, especially financially. We have this Ace of Pentacles, hoping for a new job or hoping for a new job, a new source of income, hoping for something new in the 3D to grow. And look how solid this is. I mean, it's deeply rooted and it's just now making its way up here. So the dream is way down here, even though the ace is supposed to be the initial beginning of the dream coming in through the crown chakra. So, but we've got a root chakra dream here, right? Coming up through the bottom here, through the base here, and growing something very solid. So you're hoping to grow something solid with some real deep roots, something very solid here. You're looking at or you're hoping to look at something, growing something new, a new job. It could be a new thing to spend your time on. It's Pentacles, so it's money, work, it's anything physical, tangible. So you're really hoping, I mean, and she's actually touching it, she's feeling it, she's not necessarily doing anything else with it other than you're just hoping for a new beginning in reality. I mean, if you've been alone and isolated, you might be hoping for new relationships to come in, that are real and have some grounding and aren't just in your imagination or maybe even just over Zoom, but a real relationship. Or if it's a job, if you've been in poverty, you're looking for a new source of income, you're really looking for that, you're hoping for that, something you can touch, something you can feel. In your, what's at issue here? We have Queen of Swords in reverse. So we either aren't having a clear idea on what we want, on what you want. You don't not feeling very clear on what you even want here. You know you want something, a source of wealth or income in the real world, but you're not sure maybe what that looks like. Or this could also be Queen of Swords in reverse, can also be communication issues. It can also be, not being able to communicate very clearly. It can also be kind of a bitchy, maybe slightly verbally abusive person in your life who maybe cuts down all of your ideas. It's interesting because you might have someone that you're able to talk to about this, but there might be somebody else that you're definitely not able to talk to and can be a little cutting. The Queen of Swords in the upright, she knows what she thinks, she knows what she believes. She's a straight shooter, and can sometimes forget to soften things or to think about how her message is landing. Queen of Swords in reverse could be someone that really doesn't give a shit how it lands. She's going to call it as she sees it, and she might not even be seeing it accurately, but she doesn't really care. It's kind of someone that's very it could be representing a person who's very self-absorbed, very much about them protecting their own egos, putting other people down, dysfunctional communication styles. So it could be someone with a fairly dysfunctional communication style. It could also be that there's a lack of clarity of ideas, of what you think internally, or a lack of clear communication. In your environment, we have the Emperor. Okay, this is leading me to think about this Queen of Swords as more of a very poor communicator and a very poor thinker, someone that doesn't really think things through very clearly, but somebody else has a lot more control than you do over this situation. Did you get this last week? Too, the Emperor and the Saint? I can't remember, but anyway, so you not having control over the situation. There's a control issue. Somebody else has all the power here. Somebody else has all the say, all the power. I mean, that's what it feels like. That's what it looks like, is you're not in charge of this situation. It comes under this Five of Pentacles, so it almost seems like a boss energy. You might have a boss that's kind of bitchy right now, and maybe that's why you're looking for a new job. But there's somebody else here that has the power and the control, and they feel very secure in their ability to tell you what to do, and in their ability and their right to control the situation and be in charge of things. So there's a very controlling energy here, possibly with some destructive verbal tendencies. Oh dear, Scorpio, holy moly. Jeez Louise. Okay, so it's time for you to pull out your swords, apparently. We've had enough with being left out, feeling isolated, and and this job here. So we're going to start looking at swords. Some sharp edges are going to come in here. So we have 9 of swords here. This is your to-do list. This is 9 of swords. Fascinating to-do list. This has to do with anxiety and fears. You might physically be safe. So she's in her bed. 9 of swords usually depicts someone who's physically very safe in their bed. The situation is survivable. This isn't the 10 of swords. You haven't been stabbed in the back. You're not, but this is about those fears that wake us in the middle of the night. All these eyes are like, look at that. Oh, these fears that wake us up in the middle of the night. We have 9 pairs of eyes here. What could happen? What's going on? And so this is dealing with some anxiety. There's some anxiety about the situation, and it's looking at that anxiety a lot more closely, carefully, thinking about it. Man, it reminds me of this card. You know, there's some feeling disjointed, feeling not right, feeling like something's not right here. And so this is about you dealing with your anxiety. 9 of swords is kind of the nightmare card. It's these fears that keep you up at night. And so really looking at, I think, you know, one way to deal with anxiety is the ABC method, ABCD method with cognitive therapy, where it's like what actually happened, you know, no interpretation, exact words only. You can write that all out, what actually is going on here, exact words. And then B, your beliefs about those words. So this is where you talk about your interpretation, what you felt that meant. It doesn't mean that you're wrong. It just means that you know, it's just slowing down your thought process enough to actually look at it and analyze it, and maybe feeling like, you know what's going to happen, but you don't really. Something good could happen. And we have a lot of cards. You have faith in your dreams. You're close to achieving your goal. We have a lot of good cards here. So looking at the possibility that good things could happen, and it's not just bad things. So it's A, B, C, and then C is what are the conclusions? I think that's what it is. Anyway, look it up. If you think that would be helpful. What are you concluding about this, or what? And then, and so it's just slowing down your thoughts enough to actually look at them and see where the anxiety is creeping in. And then D is debate. Debate yourself. Like, is that really true? Do I really know what the future holds? Do I really know what's going to happen tomorrow? Do I really know how this is going to play out? You know, you may not really know that, because we don't. So the 9 of swords is about looking at your anxieties, looking at your fears, looking at what keeps you up at night, looking at where fear is holding you back, where you might actually be safe, but your interpretation of something is making you feel unsafe. Not that you're wrong. It might not be the interpretation of what someone did. It could be your interpretation and your belief about what could happen as a result of what someone else is doing, or as a result of you speaking up, or as a result of you doing something like that, like thinking you know what that is and how that's going to respond. So dealing with anxiety, there's a lot of really great ways to deal with anxiety. That's a lot of well-known, well-studied ways to deal with anxiety. So a possible outcome here is 5 of swords. To me, the 5 of swords is about difficult choices and about how sometimes the need to choose ourselves over pleasing somebody else, over making somebody else happy. It's a difficult decision about what it is that you value, what it is that needs your attention, what it is that, this looks so sad. Here she is. She's taken a piece of his heart, kind of stitched him up a little bit. She's got a piece of him in her hand. You want a piece of me? Is what he probably said. Like, I'm just seeing, I don't think she just randomly came up to some really nice guy drinking tea at a cafe and ripped out a piece of him. I feel like this is a difficult choice, and a choice between you and somebody else. Preserving yourself, taking care of yourself. And every so often life puts us in these really tough jams where we have to make really difficult choices about, the thing about 5 of swords is there isn't an easy choice. It's between a rock and a hard place. So these anxieties, they could be being triggered by understanding that you're headed into, something that's between a rock and a hard place, a really difficult choice. Life, has some interesting timing and some interesting situations that come up, which, everybody gets in a bind from time to time. And that's what we're doing here. We're getting into binds and we're getting out of them. And that's the work and that's the practice. So that's how we grow and learn the lessons that we're here to learn. So it's a hard spot. It's a hard place. This anxiety that you're experiencing, again, it's not, it wouldn't be for nothing. But you might have to come to a place where you have to choose yourself over some propriety or over somebody else. This emperor may be forcing a situation in which you're stuck, in which you get cornered into a situation in which you have to. It's better not to get cornered, but if you do find yourself cornered, your sacred duty is to choose yourself. Because you're your number one caretaker, right? No one else can do that for you. All right, so, I love this with this. The strength of you. This is a hard reading, I feel like. Started really positive. I'm like, just a little tweak, and then it's like, maybe could be a bit bigger than a little tweak here. Are you doubting your ability to heal or recover? There is nothing that has fundamentally damaged your spirit, your will, or your heart. No matter how broken those parts of you may feel at times, they have only ever been broken to heal stronger. They have not been broken beyond repair and never will be. So even if you get stuck here, healing will be available. You will not be broken beyond repair. Whew. All right, Scorpio. That was an intense reading. I hope you have a great week, though. Good luck.